Top of the morning, top of the morning. Welcome back. Hope we're all having a fantastic day so far. I know I am. Beautiful day here in Palm Springs, 90 degrees and sunny. How could you complain about that? Today, do a real quick little Q&A, a little bit of shop talk, nothing too crazy. I asked a couple days ago for a bunch of questions on my Instagram and definitely was not disappointed. I did get a bunch of questions that I honestly felt were super easy to find the answers for, and I thought honestly a lot of those were questions that most everyone kind of knows anyway, but I pretty much picked a few of my favorites. It's honestly some really good questions, and I figured I'd kind of go over some of those, try to help everyone out a little bit. Nothing too crazy's changed since the last humidor tour, which was like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, more stuff's coming, but nothing crazy enough to where I can show another humidor tour video yet. Plus, honestly, I do want to get kind of the lighting situation figured out for the aisle. So in the meantime, just kind of put out some of the extra stuff that came, the Eye of the Bull, Eye of the Shark, Personal Reserve. We got a lot more of these the last, I think 2 or 3 days ago. So I'm kind of putting those out. Yeah, so we're just kind of going through, doing a little bit of things. And yeah, just trying to prep because we are in October. This is definitely going to start getting into the busier time of the year for us. Again, most other places, their season is summer, but for us, it is winter since we're here in the desert. So we're going to get right to these questions, man. Some of these are really good, man. You guys did not disappoint at all with these. Austin M, which Connecticut's are mild versus medium, and how do I know? So definitely a really good question. This is obviously going to be way harder if you are newer to cigars, just because you're not going to have any idea really about anything like that. So I would say the best thing to do off rip is just to ask for a Dominican cigar with a Connecticut wrapper, because that's going to be the most mild if that's what you're going for. So you're talking stuff like this, right? Chateau Fuente, small, very approachable, super easy. Anyone can smoke this cigar, right? So you're going to look for something like that if you want super mild, right? Stuff like the Ashton Classic. Super mild, super reliable, super consistent, doesn't disappoint. This is kind of what you're going to go for if you want the most mild. Dominican, Connecticut. If you just tell the kind of brick and mortar shop you're going to that that's what you're looking for, they'll definitely be able to help you out. It's super easy. Most Connecticut cigars, though, like anyway, are mild to medium bodied. So they will kind of get a little bit heavier as that cigar transitions as you smoke it. But honestly, that's the safest way to go if you want the most mild thing possible. Dominican, Connecticut. Otherwise, to be honest, you could ask for a Connecticut shade. Shade Connecticut's or a shade-grown Connecticut is going to be a lot more mild than the sun-grown Connecticut's. But I do try to get people to not just try the shade-grown, right? Like if you're okay with a slightly more medium one, that's when you'll get a lot more of like the Connecticut Nicaraguan options, right? So it just has just a little bit more body to it, but I will say the flavor is also a bit better. I do try to do more sun-grown Connecticut's personally. Like there's not that big of a difference in strength. Honestly, I would say if you can smoke a mild cigar, you can do a mild to medium cigar. It's going to be okay. Not going to be a big deal at all. But these San Cristobal's are great for that mild to medium for sure. Definitely, we've kind of talked about the My Father Connecticut's, right? Another good sun-grown option. Delicious. Again, more mild to medium. Nicaraguan, right? So that's kind of, again, you're running into that. Central American option is definitely going to be heavier than Dominican. You got like one of my favorites again, that more, honestly, this is pretty just a medium smoke, the Padron Damaso. You're definitely past mild on this. But this is definitely one, because by appearance, you're not really going to be able to tell, especially if you don't know companies or any blends or anything like that. Being new and trying to tell that difference is really, really tough. So I would probably seek a little bit of assistance in the humidor personally. But it can definitely be done. If Arturo Fuente, that's a great Dominican company. You're going to find the most mild options there with the Connecticut. It's going to be really easy going, really sweet, super simple. Yeah, otherwise, you're definitely going to be a lot more. You're going to find yourself looking at these Nicaraguan options with the Connecticut. Flavor's better in my opinion, but yeah, you're definitely going to be a little bit heavier. So that kind of is a little tough, man. I hope that helps you out a little bit, Austin. I really do. What else we got? Cigar Hoarder 60. Why is it so hard to find panatella sizes? Ooh, well, probably because no one smokes panatellas, brother, if I had to be honest with you. That's a really popular size. Lonsdales, panatellas, Lanceros. You got to go to like European countries for that stuff to get yourself a lot of options. These are amazing cigars, but the American market just is not that into them. That's just the reality of the situation. Obviously, certain parts of the country are going to be better than others for it. But yeah, man, you were going to be on your own. Like a panatella, like you also got to understand a lot of companies don't even make a panatella size. They don't even do a Lancero, right? So you're definitely kind of picking a really hard one to go with. It is an amazing size. Like I love panatellas, don't get me wrong, but you know, a lot of these companies, they don't even make that size. So, and if you're like a lot of other shops or you go to a lot of shops, you'll kind of notice they only carry what's like very frequently requested, right? So like everything in here, we already have box buyers on. So for me to just randomly throw in a box of panatellas on very limited shelf space, because remember, I had to put this in here because I was so tight on shelf space. So I'm not going to just go get some random thing like a panatella, for example, and just hope that that one random guy comes in and that's like what he's looking for. So, which sounds like it's you, man. So super, definitely a super bummer for you because that's going to be really tough to find. You definitely might have to go more online. And again, that's coming from a shop owner, but you're probably going to be disappointed going into a lot of shops looking for that size. Again, a lot of shops will have it, but they're few and far between, and you're going to be having like one or two options most likely, unless you're, again, if you're talking about these superstores like down in Florida, Cigars International, or you know, just any of these huge like warehouse cigar stores, yeah, you know, you can find yourself a panatella in there. But you know, for your average mom and pop shop, that I agree, it is a very tough size to find, and I can understand your frustration. Maybe try to go with like you know, at least a Lancero, because you can at least find Lanceros a lot easier than panatellas. So best of luck to you, Cigar Hoarder. Definitely hope the best, man. Select, I hope I pronounced that name right, brother. Really hope I do. He asks, which cigars are best for long-term aging? So that is definitely a good question because we all know not all cigars age the same. Definitely some better than others. But if you're sticking with a good premium long filler cigar, you're definitely hedging your bets pretty good that way right off rip. I will tell you some of the cigars that age the best, although I know you're not going to want to hear this. Opus. 3 to 5 years on these Opus, and you've got one of the best smokes you could ever have. These are just phenomenal options. They do very well with age over time. You will not go wrong at all if this is the route that you want to go, man. Fantastic cigars. This is where I can vouch for just personal experience. They're great. Like you could pick one up right now, smoke it. It's going to be great. But you're talking a whole different animal when you give it that like 3 to 5 year sweet spot. Really try to push the 5. But that 3 to 5 year sweet spot, you would not be disappointed. And the Padrones. Man, the Padrones do absolutely incredible with some age, especially these Maduros. I've aged a lot of these Maduro Torpedoes. Such a rich, like it goes from milk chocolate to dark chocolate. It is absolutely incredible once you throw another couple years of age on these guys. Absolutely incredible, man. I would definitely suggest if you do like Padrones, Liga Privadas do really well with some age. Obviously the Opus, like I mentioned. But at the end of the day, as long as you're sticking with a premium long filler cigar, you have a good chance. And another thing I would recommend doing is, say for example, get like 3, right? Mark on the cellophane, the date, and then smoke one after like 5 months, smoke one after a year, smoke one after 2 years, and see if you notice anything there. If you don't notice anything, then maybe it's not a cigar worth aging, right? Because again, even if it's a premium long filler cigar, they still don't all age the same. It's part of the hobby. It's part of, you know, just kind of being in it. You know, there's been plenty of cigars I set on for 8 years just to try to smoke it, and it was horrible, right? Like it got worse with age, you know? So that's uncommon, but it still happens. So I would say, you know, just pick a reliable company, premium long filler option. Maduros also typically do better than the Connecticut's. And I would say that's going to be your best way to go. You know, I've aged even Caesars before. I've aged Diamond Crowns, even the Connecticut's, and those still did pretty good, but the Maduros do better, right? And I would probably just do some stuff like that. The Tabernacles do really good with some age. Those are good. But I think you get the point. I think you get the point. Premium options, you can't go wrong. It's really just, you know, keeping an eye on that humidity, because for long-term storage, that you want that environment to be absolutely tits, brother. So just, you know, make sure your humidity is correct. Make sure the temperature is correct. Make sure nothing's fluctuating. And yeah, put a premium option in there. I think you'll be all right, man. All right, what we got? Crazy Pollo. Do you think you overpay or spend more than you should for a cigar when you see a lot of packaging or presentation? Okay, I think I know what you're asking. You know, I mean, it's kind of like, do you think you're overpaying when you see stuff like this, when you get the ribbon, maybe a double ring, maybe a sticker, like kind of advertising a high rating, it's wrapped in cellophane, box pressed. Maybe that's kind of, you're like, man, there's just a lot going on. Maybe they're trying to cover up for like a subpar cigar. You know, some years ago, I would tell you that you had a higher chance of that being true. Honestly, nowadays, look, the ribbon, the rings, even like the felt boxes, it really doesn't add a ton of cost to this item. And the manufacturers are not passing that on to the shop owner or you, right? A lot of these products, especially nowadays, you got to understand there's so much pride that goes into making these products. People want to properly protect their cigar, and they want to give you that wow factor when you crack that box. Like you yourself take pride in what you purchased. You know, like it's just, that's kind of where it's at. I really wouldn't say it's, you know, you're paying more than what you should, right? There's only a few cases I think you could really make an argument with that on. I've seen it with like some Rocky Patel products where, you know, it's very dressed up and a lot of people smoke it and they're like, man, this is just like the cigar he put out last month, right? So you might get some stuff like that, but honestly anymore, really don't let the packaging turn you off. Like really. Anymore now, it is just people taking a lot of pride in what they make. You know what I mean? Not everything has to be like a naked cigar. It's like these Persian Kings. Right? Like not everything has to be like this to where it's no glitz, no glamour. Right? Like this is cool too because yes, obviously these are the more like budget-friendly ones, but to make it as budget-friendly as possible, it's not even the packaging, it's the man hours it takes to package and do all this stuff, right? So they don't want to pay people the hourly wage, like the time, to sit there and put these in cellophane, put the 2 rings on them, put the ribbons on them, dress the boxes up. So that's kind of what they'll do with this. So yeah, you can get just a bare bones naked cigar for a better price. But no, I'm not going to say that you're just overpaying when you see a cigar with some, you know, cellophane and some ribbons and, you know, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, brother, don't worry. I think you're okay. Frankie, I don't see you smoke many Connecticut cigars anymore, Seth. Why is that? You know, I do smoke Connecticut's. I think you're probably just not seeing me post the Connecticut's simply because I just don't. I smoke them like kind of early in the morning now. And honestly, I try to stay off my phone like super early in the morning. You know, I just try to wake up. You know, I don't know. It's like a personal thing. So I do smoke Connecticut's. It is more of a morning thing. And I will be honest, it is more of a sun-grown Connecticut. It's more of these guys, right? It's just what does it for me. I love the flavor. The sun-grown Connecticut's just hit way better, you know, again, personal preference, but that's just like me. I just like the way they smoke, man. And that is a good smoke. Believe me, I do, I promise. Frankie, I do smoke Connecticut's, man. I'm just not posting them like I used to. So, but yeah, I do. They're good, time and place, but anyone that smokes cigars for a really long time, they usually find themselves going to something a little bit stronger. It's also just kind of usually where the flavor is, so. And then we got, I think, our last question. Steve Smokes. This was super weird because he asked, when are you going to show what's in your special chest? And I don't have any idea, or I didn't have any idea what he was talking about. Turns out he was a local guy that came in here, and saw me putting stuff in this guy. So this is, sometimes I'll cherry pick stuff out of here, or I'll cherry pick stuff in the shop and I'll put it in here. I had no idea what he was referring to until he mentioned, he's like, dude, it's like a box that you keep under the shelf. And I was like, how do you know about that? And he's like, well, I come in every Friday. And I'm like, okay, because I've never shown any of that, right? So this is like a super random assortment. It's just stuff that I don't want to lose if it's complicated. It's like, I don't want to take a chance on not being able to get these cigars if, like, you know, like, because we got, say, the street tacos. These show up on like a time when I was going to take like 2 days off and I didn't know how these were going to perform. So just in case they flew immediately, I wanted some. And that's kind of like the thing with all these. And you're like, well, dude, some of these are like just padrones and stuff. Yes, there is just some random stuff in here as well, you know, but I still do rare pinks. The Yaguas, see, we're all out of the Yaguas now. I just got these in and they flew. I have some. So, you know, the Encore Blacks, right? So you got all that stuff. You got some Padrones, right? And some of those, just because, you know, I'm a little Padrone whore, I just always have some of those around. But, you know, Maduro Hemingways, right? Those are sick. I'll try to show you some of the actual better stuff. So Alec Bradley, definitely a brand that hasn't quite been, yeah, there we go. Sorry, hard to do it one hand. This was like a part of their fine and rare line, and they got these really cool coffins, and this is from 2021, but just a super cool coffin, man. I just loved it. The cigar was good, but I just really liked this coffin. That was the biggest thing. Naturally, this is probably the coolest cigar in here, I'll be honest with you. Just busting up all these cigars. This giant wooden travel tube, and yes, there's a cigar in here, the Davidoff Anniversario #1. So yeah, like, I didn't know how long this was going to hang around, and just in case we sell out of all of them before I had a chance to get one, I at least wanted the sick wooden travel tube with the cigar in there. So that was pretty cool. And let's see what else we got. Yeah, Anejos, Pravades 99. Sometimes there's like some super rare stuff in here, and then oftentimes also as well, like if you're someone that, like I've got, you know, the homie Dez and his boys will come in here, Spike, Big Mike, Corey, and, you know, honestly, they always treat us really well, so I try to show them some respect as well, and sometimes I'll let them, like, pick out of, you know, here, or just throw them some free cigars, or do something, right? But it's also kind of cool letting some of your regulars, like, find something good in here to take with them. I had a Padron 60-year Maduro that I threw one of our regulars as well, because he had been looking for it, and I stashed one back, and after, like, the third time that he came in asking for it, I'm like, all right, brother. You win, I'll sell you it. So, but yeah, you know, just some random stuff, random goodies. Literally a whole box of like this 10 count, right? These 858s, but it's like a cool 10 count box, you know what I mean? I thought this was super sick. So, yeah, man, yeah, that 30-year, that dude's so good. So yeah, you know, some Queen of Hearts, little Bellicosos. You got like the Untold Story. So cool, right? Just like random stuff. It always changes. Some of the stuff's pretty boring. Some of the stuff gets pretty rare. It literally just depends. But yeah, that's all that's in there. My special chest. I was so confused when he asked that. I was like, bro, what are you talking about? Do you have me confused with someone else? So yeah, just in case anyone saw that, right? It's like just some trash ghetto cardboard Scotch tape beat up Rocky Patel box, right? So it doesn't even look enticing. But there's some good stuff in there, man. Some good stuff in there. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, just some good little Q&A action for the day. Hope you're all doing well. I really do. Definitely hope the best for all of you. Appreciate all the support. Appreciate all the kind words. I've been trucking along with some behind-the-scenes stuff. And as I mentioned in, I think, the last video, and then also some other like social media posts, I will have more of a live stream schedule towards the end of this month. I'm trying to plan some fun things to actually make it exciting and like engaging, because I'm going to keep it real. My only complaint with like a lot of like either the cigar podcasts or other cigar content in general, like it's just so dry and boring, man. Like obviously I'm dry and boring myself, but I'm not trying to amplify that. If I start a live stream and it's just like, a bunch of us staring at each other and like, yeah, this is the cigar I'm smoking today, guys. Let's take a look. It's like, yeah, who wants to watch that? You know what I mean? So I'm trying to plan some good stuff and try to work some stuff out. So that's all behind the scenes, but I'll have a much more ironed out schedule and plan towards the end of this month. And season will be popping pretty good. We'll have lots of more rare stuff in here, which will be super sick to go over as well. So yeah, appreciate you all for watching. Hope you have a great day. I will definitely catch you in the next one. Drop a comment below if you have any questions at all that you want me to answer. You can definitely leave them there and I'll put it on the next Q&A. Or if you want to check out the Instagram, Sethspool_, you can always DM me there too. I try to answer as many questions as I can no matter what. So anything I can do to help, you guys just let me know. Appreciate you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day.